Hello ladies and gems, and welcome to your Pokemon Dust adventure. Here I'll be taking you through this fictional Pokemon game, explaining the new mechanics and Pokemon encounters along the way. As you may have seen in the first video, both games are extensively different, as I wanted to really hone in the whole variation theme. If you want to continue specifically on this adventure to its entirety, then go back and follow the other game, or watch the other version right after this video is over. Is entirely your own choice. But for now, sit back, relax, and select New Game.
Howdy trainer, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Redwood, but people call me the Pokemon Professor. Here in the Techno region there are many different types of Pokemon, from those that fly to those that swim. Most people train with Pokemon, while others keep them as pets. As for me, I study Pokemon variations with my partner, Professor Monkey Puzzle, in the neighboring region. So I see you got this invitation from my people in the lab. So congratulations for being eligible to be a Pokemon trainer. Yeehaw! But before we start, you have to make your PC avatar. As a trainer, you are able to enter training simulations to test yourself along your journey, and to learn new skills or some you may have forgotten. But to do that, we need you to make an avatar that looks like you, and to put in your name.
So this is the first new feature in my generation. I was really impressed on the way Sun and Moon handled their character customization system. To hear my full thoughts on this, check out my Pokemon Sun Adventure Part 1. But I was wondering how I could take this to the next level, through avatars. I really wanted to dive into a mix of integrated technology and nature, something inspired by the other Nintendo product, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild from the Nintendo Switch. With this you'll be presented with a blank body template. You can choose your gender, basic male or female, then you can choose from a variety of clothes, facial features and hairstyles. You can also colour it however you want and name it. This avatar will become your character. Side note, if you do decide to change your clothes or your hairstyle within the game, and later on you go for a virtual battle, those I will talk about in depth later, your avatar will not change. The avatar will look the way you made it at the beginning of the game. So make a good one. Let me just make one. Yeah, okay. Yes, perfect. Okay, give it a name. Done. Moving on. Back to the professor.
Thank you for that. Right. Come and visit me at the lab, and you can start your adventure. Welcome to the world of Pokemon.
You wake up in your home in the middle of Gringo Town in the Tenko region. A calm little town surrounded by patches of grass and dirt roads. Anyway, your mum calls you down from your room and talks to you. You see what I did there? Look at the mother of my character. Doesn't she look very similar? Referring back to my Pokemon Sun Adventure Part 1, I complained how no matter what character you make, your mum will look the same, and in some cases you end up looking like you've been adopted. I decided to do something about that. Due to some fancy technological algorithm of some kind, your mum will look like she's actually related to you. Clever, right? As you start your adventure, you walk through Gringo Town to meet Professor Redwood in the local lab.
Hello, howdy. I see you here for your first Pokemon. Well, there are a few things we need to do before we get started. First things first, as you made your avatar, we will need to test what you know already.
The professor will sit you in a chair and place a VR set on your head. Then you'll go into a virtual battle. This is inspired by Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. In this challenge you're met with a battle screen, but a little bit glitchy. A blank trainer avatar will be in front of you. Then a screen will blip up offering you a choice of one of 3 starter Pokemon. And we will look at these Pokemon now. As this video was inspired by Brett Ultimus's Making Gen 8 Pokemon, each Pokemon was created with other Pokemon as references, splicing aspects together to keep a consistent art style, and also seeing what I can make in this way instead of drawing from scratch. So now we will look at these 3 starting Pokemon. First is the grass starter Pokemon, Seedlay. This Pokemon was inspired by cacti that can be seen through the United States, and also some splices of like alien stuff, I guess. So what Pokemon did I use to make this mon? Maractus was used for the base body, Fomantis's head was used and carrying the colour of Maractus, Torchic's crest on his head, and I converted it into a leaf, Cacturn's spikes as fingers, and Cacturn's legs as, well, the legs. Also, the patterns were of my own design, using the colour scheme of the leaf on the top of his head, on the fingers and legs, and making the patterns brown. Next is the fire starter, Rabinda. This Pokemon was interesting. Looking at all generations of fire starters, have you noticed something? Only one lizard. Everything else has either feathers or fur. So I thought I'd go with something a little bit different and entirely hairless. But instead of a lizard, which I think has been done to death, I went with a frog. Going against expectations, making something that usually has been represented by water Pokemon instead. So I chose a frog, specifically the Strawberry Poison Dart Frog. And I kept the colour scheme of the frog, but what Pokemon did I use to make it? Politoad's body was used for the base body. I used Froakie's head shape, Toxicroak's arms, removing the spikes and making them a little bit smaller, Totodile's feet, Squirtle's mouth, Munchlax's eyes, but tilted them slightly, and I thought it was kind of funny. I decided to make it a bit funnier instead of cute, and it's kind of funny how most of the base body stuff has been used through water Pokemon. And finally the water starter, Dropbat. Also, I kind of gone with the whole what animals water starters are not actually based off of thing. This Pokemon is based off the smallest bat in the world, the Bumblebee bat. Oh god, it's so cute. But what Pokemon did I use to make this new design? I used Swirlix as a base body, Mareep's head, Mankey's nose, Butterfree's hands, Clefairy's ears, and Woobat's wings. I copied Mareep's colour scheme over to the rest of the body, and a splash of Butterfree's hand colour and a bit of grey-blue for the wings. It's not a water flying type as its wings are far too small for flight, so it kind of hops around and it can float on water using the wings as paddles. Kind of thought that was a cool idea. Also, there are a small chance of getting the shiny versions, but it is very rare as usual. So, what shall I choose? Well, I always pick the fire types. The opposing avatar gives you a challenge to begin with, using the strongest starter to you, like any rival would. If you are struggling with it, it'll swap out the Pokemon to the weaker one. This is so it can help you choose a game difficulty without straight up picking it, or hand-holding the entire time. But once you won, the professor will present you with the Pokemon that you chose in the virtual battle. Thank you for watching the first part of your new Pokemon adventure. Next time we will continue on to Route 1 and the Pokemon you can encounter on there. So what do you think so far? If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. So before we keep going, don't forget to save. There we go. I'll see you in the next step of your Pokemon adventure. Bye bye.